Hello and welcome to the iCharts webinar. Today we are going to be talking about reporting and analytics best practices in the context of NetSuite. Our objective today is to give you a brief overview of iCharts, understand the business imperative about reporting and analytics, especially as it relates to data visualization. And we are going to review some best practices in reporting within NetSuite. And finally, we are going to show you a demonstration of iCharts, which is a data visualization, reporting, analytics solution within NetSuite. And after that, we will take up a few questions. So let's get started. Actionable insights improve business performance. Numerous studies have been done across the enterprise world that says if you give easy, digestible access to data all across the company, you get a much higher ROI on the business. Today, in many places, information is not easily available. And when it is available, it's not easily digestible. It's not in a concrete form. It's large Excel spreadsheets, and makes it very difficult to get actionable insights out of that. The ability to look at the data in context and compare them and look at trends allows the company to become highly profitable. And numerous studies have also said that any company that is data driven and is able to look at insights have an increase in their profitability. We have talked to several NetSuite prospects and customers over the last 2 years, and there's a common theme that we have heard. One of them is that NetSuite has a lot of reporting capabilities. It has saved searches, reports, and some KPI meters, but most of our customers have said these out-of-the-box capabilities are not flexible enough, it's very tedious, and it's not visual. And the next best option for our customers is to invest in a very complex BI platform, which is a business intelligence platform. And that makes it a little bit difficult to manage and very expensive. So what most customers end up doing is extracting the data into Excel. And then they use Excel for their reporting and dashboarding purposes. Now, Excel is actually a great tool, but it's a very inefficient tool for reporting and analysis and sharing them across your organization. So what customers have been telling us is we need a solution that is integrated within NetSuite and is not complicated to use. It should be as easy for a business user to use, just like Excel, but it is real time and it's interactive, and you can do some interactive insights out of that. So that's the kind of solution that all our customers have said they're looking for, something that's within NetSuite and allows real-time interactive analysis. A typical process of extracting insights from NetSuite is someone asks for a report, typically an executive, and then you have your saved searches, which you export to Excel, manipulate the data, create some charts, and then you email the Excel file to your executives and to your business users. And that has some issues. The moment you extract data into Excel, it's not real time. It's outdated. And then it is not secured right now. As long as data is within NetSuite, it remains secured. But as soon as you export to Excel, it doesn't remain secure. So there's quite a few issues with Excel-based reporting. But there is a better way. You can extract your saved search and put it into spreadsheet, like the example that I have shown here on the left side of the slide. But as you can see, it's just tedious, inflexible, it's not real time, and it's very hard to get insights out of a tabulated saved search export in Excel. But look at the right side. It's the same saved search, but we have converted this into a nice visual. And now you can very easily see, in this example, opportunity status by rep, who has a better pipeline, what is the state of that pipeline, for example. And it's very easy to use, it's flexible, and it's still real time. So taking the saved searches into visual and interactive reporting will add significant value in getting more insights from your NetSuite data. And ultimately, having visualized data that is easy to use allows you to increase productivity. Now you don't have to mess around with exporting the data into Excel, You can reduce complexity. Everybody has access to the same information in real time from NetSuite, not based on some data that was extracted on a Monday morning or a Friday afternoon. And now that you have access to information at the fingertips, your business users will be able to make quick decisions and improve the agility of the business, and not having to depend upon outdated extracts or spreadsheets of data. So what is iCharts? So iCharts is a built for NetSuite suite app and a bundle that is included and fully embedded within NetSuite. It's built for a business user. That means you don't have to worry about having a technical person or a data geek or a data science person in your organization. If you know Excel, you should be able to use iCharts as well. It's real time, and anytime you view data in a visual chart, you will see data in real time. And we understand that a lot of customers have data outside of their NetSuite, not just in NetSuite. And you would like to visualize data from other systems and show them within the context of NetSuite. And we allow you to do that. With iCharts, you can import data from other sources, visualize it, and show them on your NetSuite portlets. That allows you to give your business users a 360-degree view of the business. And by the way, you can leverage some best practices from iCharts as well. iCharts can work across any industry, any size of business, whether you are in manufacturing, software, retail, suite commerce, services, whichever module you are using. As long as you have saved searches, you can visualize data. And if you don't have saved searches, you can leverage some best practice saved search from us. When you install the bundle, we automatically include some saved searches and also some visualization in the areas of sales, finance, and customer service. So that allows you to get started really quickly. So you don't have to think about what kind of data I want to visualize. We already package some of that for you. And then you can evolve that based on your specific business needs and evolve the needs of your analysis and reports. iCharts has very quick time to value. What we mean by that is it's a bundle. And as soon as you install the bundle, you can get started. There will be an onboarding call that we can help you get started with a small training program. And within the first half hour, we have noticed that customers are able to get started with their first couple of visualizations and share them with their business users. It's very easy, and we are going to show that to you in a brief demonstration right now. So Eric, maybe it's time for you to show us how easy it is to create the visualizations, and tell us a little bit about how visualization is beneficial to NetSuite users.
Yeah, thanks, Deepak. So as you can see, we are inside of a live NetSuite instance. The data is entirely fictional. The business is entirely fictional. The data, the charts, all of it's real, and it's real time. This is the biggest value proposition that iCharts actually brings. You know, sort of what Deepak was talking about earlier, those tedious reporting cycles where you basically make a report, you send it out to certain people, and then the next time another, transaction or record comes into that report, your old Excel report is basically dead on arrival. But with iCharts, we're going to go past those tedious reporting cycles. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that right here. So what you can see here is I have a bunch of different charts right here on my dashboard, a bunch of things sort of being displayed here. All of these charts are living inside of portlets, these nice little collapsible windows that you can actually see. I'm actually collapsing and expanding so I can display, charts in a number of different combinations and permutations on my dashboard. A couple of things that you can do with the charts right off the bat is you can interact with them in a number of interesting ways. You can actually hover over the bars, get a little bit more information about the underlying data itself. You'll notice that when you have this sort of data breakdown, those series, sort of become more transparent, and the ones that you're not looking at sort of become translucent. So what is happening here is we're basically taking a saved search, taking the fields inside of it, and basically pivoting and grouping based on those fields. What you can see is that allows you to display a chart like this one that I'm sort of moving my mouse inside of. What's happening here is we're actually grouping all of the transactions by the period in which they took place in order to give you this sort of 4-month view of all the transactions. And then what we're also doing is doing another pivot inside of this chart to basically break down those transactions by the account in which they're coming from. And so what that allows you to do is you can actually click off and click on certain series, allows you to see trends across each one of these accounts across this 4-month period. I can add more accounts and just sort of bring that data back. I can see overall, I can see one account, or I can tailor the view entirely to how I actually want to see the data. The chart, while it is dependent on the saved search does not actually send anything back to the saved search. And so anything that I actually change on the chart is just on the chart. It's not affecting the underlying search. It's not affecting any of the underlying data records, just how they're being displayed and presented on your dashboard. One of the other things that's really cool is that you can actually filter the data by any one of these saved search fields. So any saved search field that's there can be put on as a filter on the chart. And the way iCharts filters work is they work exactly like saved search criteria. I can click inside of this filter and it displays all of the values of that particular field inside of the saved search. And from here, I can just click on a particular partner that I'm interested in. And when I do that and click apply, you see that little bouncing eye. And then after that, the data dynamically changes to show me just transactions that are adhering to that new filter that I just specified. So then I can always go in and sort of add it back, show you how the chart looks like in its normal state, and the chart dynamically changes to show me the lack of criteria that's now being added to it. The other thing I can do is from this top bar here, I can save the chart, save it as an image, put it in a PowerPoint presentation, send it out as an email, really do a lot of things with it, allow it to sort of live outside of the NetSuite ecosystem. Entirely up to you. And one of the other things that we've stressed a lot throughout the presentation, and I have to stress again, is that what you can also do is you can always drill into the underlying transactions inside of the chart in real time. So if I'm curious about this $9.3 million worth of professional service revenue in the month of November, I can just click on it and click View Data. And what this does is it generates a brand new NetSuite Save Search window that shows me all of the records that are adhering to that particular criteria. So it brings up this very familiar Save Search window, shows me all the attributes of the record, as well as all the other records, adhering, of course, to just November 2014 professional service revenue. And from here, NetSuite totally takes over. I can click on the view aspect of a particular record and it'll pull up that very record right here on my screen without having to go anywhere else. So that's really cool. You can sort of see from one particular chart, you can sort of go from that very high ivory tower macro level trend view all the way down to the granular individual record sort of city street view of your data to really give you that complete picture of how the overall business is doing. So top to bottom, we basically bring it all right here, right at your fingertips, right here from this dashboard. So that's very cool. One of the things I'm actually going to do right now is I'm actually just going to switch roles just to show you some of our other best practice charts that we actually have right here. What we have is that we can actually display all of the charts inside of these portlets, and these are all specific to the sales vertical. So the one that you were looking at before was more tailored towards CFOs and sort of financial professionals. This one is a little bit more sales related. So you can see that now as we wait, all these charts are starting to flash up and display a lot of different data, right here on your screen. You always know when you see that bouncing eye that the data is the latest and the greatest right here on your screen, and you always know that it's up to the minute accurate. So no more sort of, discussing, where did you get your data from? My data came from here. I got it this time. Everybody's looking at the same data, same thing. You can really just talk about what the data is telling you instead of, where it came from and who ran it. So now we're going to go in and actually show you how easy it is to create one of these beautiful charts, and creating multiple charts will ultimately result in a dashboard. So the way you do that is you can go from the iCharts tab. You can just go over here and you'll see an iCharts tab at the top of your screen. This can be provisioned to you by a NetSuite administrator. From here, you can just go to Data Visualization and click Create New. What this does is this opens the Data Loader tool. This allows us to select my data source, allowing me to bring in sort of other data sources, something that Deepak was alluding to earlier. You can say I can bring in a NetSuite Save Search, an Excel spreadsheet, a Google spreadsheet, or I can add data manually using another iCharts sort of data composer tool. The other thing that you might have noticed that I sort of casually glossed over was the merge data set. And what that is that actually allows you to combine two different saved searches on one chart, sort of transcending that NetSuite join infrastructure. And as long as the two saved searches have common data, so dates to dates, names to names, times to times, etc., comparing apples to apples, you're basically able to combine and amalgamate those two saved searches and create one sort of combined data set. But for the purposes of this demo, I'm just going to use one saved search here. What I'm actually going to do is once I do that, you'll notice another drop down sort of presents itself here. I can select my record type. I'm going to choose transaction. And then what I'm going to do is select my saved search from the drop down. Like like this account, I am sure that many of you also have lots and lots of saved searches. So you can either go ahead and navigate through the dropdown, or if that's a little cumbersome and sort of difficult, you can always enter in the ID right here, and the tool is always smart enough to go in and find that particular saved search in your instance. So yeah, no, that's pretty much it. That's everything we need in order to create this chart. And what I'm going to do is I can now click Create Chart. And what's happening here is we're loading all of the saved search results columns, adhering to any criteria, and basically bringing in all the data into the iCharts Studio. The Studio is basically our composer tool, allowing you to take those saved search fields, basically drag and drop them wherever you like, creating a wide variety of permutations and combinations of different charts and ways of actually representing your data. So what you can see here is, have a bunch of different various saved search fields here that are displaying a wide variety of information. If I want to choose any one of them, it's as simple as drag and drop. What I'm going to do today is I'm just going to make a little sales rep pipeline status chart, see how my sales reps are doing on their pipelines, whether they're closing their opportunities, or whether, they're sort of staying in those proposals or, scoping stages. The way I'm going to do that is I can just go and grab this sales rep variable and just drag it over here and drop it right there. That adds that little sales rep blue button there, which allows me to go in and actually select the sales reps from the saved search. So the first thing you'll notice is it's actually displaying a none field. This none field is showing me all the transactions that don't have sales reps associated with them. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm not really interested in that. It's not really helping me. So what I can do is I can go inside of this sales rep thing here. You can see it's got my entire list of sales reps right here based on the values of the saved search. I'm going to select everybody. I'm not going to use the none, and I'm also going to sort these by value so it looks a little bit cleaner, a little bit easier to be presented. Now I'm going to click Make Changes, and you'll notice that now what happens is it's actually displaying all of those sales reps, right here on the screen, all of their names. I can always sort of move this chart around. Everything about the chart is formattable. Maybe adjust this legend a little bit, sort of move that there. And maybe put my title, maybe center it a little bit, and maybe give it a name. We'll just call this Sales Rep Op Status Chart, because we will add that Op Status part in a moment. So now the other thing that you can do is you can always click and also see what the value of each one of these is. These are the dollar amounts of these particular deals. If I want to, I can click on this blue button here, and I can also choose to do days open, probability, quantity, various other numerical dimensions of the search can always be displayed and represented right here on the chart. I'm actually, just for the purpose of this demo, just going to choose amount, and now you'll see that value becomes amount. The chart's not going to change because by default it's selecting the very first value. So now I have the total amount of the transactions that my sales reps are doing, but unfortunately this isn't very helpful for me from understanding what the data is actually doing. And the way I can make it a little bit more at a glance visible is I can actually break down these bars by another field inside of the Save Search. So I go back to my Variables tab. It's got all my fields right here, and once again, it's just drag and drop. Grab this opportunity status field, drag it to our third dimension, which is the compare by, and now you can see it adds this little all opportunity statuses button right here. Just like I did for the sales rep, I can click right inside of it, span this menu out, and click select all. Now that I have all of that, I'm going to remove the none as well, and I'm going to click Make Changes. Now you can see the breakdown actually taking place, and then what happens is you can actually see the various opportunity statuses that my deals are actually in. From here, once again, I'm going to move this around, make it so it fits a little bit better on the page, and there we go. You can now see that we have the beginnings of a very nice chart. But unfortunately, the bars are very faint. They're sort of hard to read. Because they're so faint, they all look like similarly colored lines. And the way I can actually see that and why that's happening is if I take this slider bar, I just zoom right in here, and you can see what's happening is all the bars are sort of sitting parallel to one another. Ultimately, I think it might be more rewarding if we actually have them stack on top of each other. So if I actually do that, I can change the chart type right here by clicking this chart type tab and clicking a stacked bar. And now the bars will actually stack on top of one another in order to give me a much clearer understanding of where everything is and sort of consolidate some of that space that was created by having those new compare by dimensions articulated on the chart. So there we go. You got all of the various aspects of the data right here, a number of different pieces of information, and basically this is the semblance of our chart. The final dimension is that I can also add a filter. So if I actually want to filter the data in any way, I can just go in and let's say I want to do, actual close month and put that as a filter. Same thing, I just grab it and drag it and drop it right here. What happens is now it will add that actual close month filter onto the chart, and from here I can actually go in and select the period of time in which I'm interested in. Not going to select anything right now, but it gives you a good idea of how that actually works. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm now going to go in and save this chart. So I'm going to do File, Save. This will allow me to save the chart. I can either expose this top bar with my 4 dimensions on the chart itself, or I can just leave it so it's just showing me the chart canvas. Just going to do the chart canvas for now, and I'm just going to do, call it 1021 demo chart, and click Save. And now the chart is saved and living inside of iCharts. What I can now do is I have to really get this chart in front of somebody, put it on a dashboard, let somebody see it. And the way I do that is I go to Publish, and I go to Publish to NetSuite, and I can then publish this chart to either an existing portlet or create a brand new portlet inside of my NetSuite instance. And I click Publish, and then that chart is available on that particular portlet. And that's pretty much how you create a chart in a nutshell. It's very quick, very easy, very fast, all from one particular saved search, and all right here inside of NetSuite without having to leave anywhere else.
Great. Thank you so much for the great demo. It seems pretty easy. So it looks like, as long as I have a NetSuite. So what do customers have to have in order to be as fast as you were able to do it?
So basically what you need is a save search. Make sure that you bring in as many fields as possible. The more fields you have, the more things you can drag and drop. Make sure you have access to that save search, and make sure you have access to the iCharts bundle. Other than that, that's pretty much it.
Okay. So as soon as we install the bundle, we can start. Customers can start using
And one of the
product.
things too also is if you install the bundle and you don't have any saved searches, we've actually provided some for you inside of the bundle. Just allow you to sort of get your feet wet, understand how the tool works, and play around with saved searches that we've made, and then you can go in and sort of make your own and make something a little bit more customized.
Okay, very good. So great. So as you can see, it was very easy to create reports and visualization out of your saved searches within NetSuite. And the whole experience and the whole demonstration you saw is encapsulated within NetSuite. So you don't have to worry about extracting your data. You don't have to worry about logging into some other tool now, like as it happens with some other tools. With iCharts, it's all embedded within the NetSuite environment. We have taken care of all the dirty work on the backend side of things. So what you can just focus on is what is the most important information for my audience, and just build that. So no more extracting. You can get started in 15 minutes and expand as you grow. And we have proven this across many different clients and who come from many different industries and roles. iCharts has been used for sales reporting, finance reporting, project management, supply chain, and many different. There are many different examples that we can share with you. So if you are interested, we are providing a risk-free 30 days offer, and all you need to do is install this bundle. And in order to install this bundle, we'll have to share it with you. So just send us an email at info@icharts.net and we'll get you started. It's a risk-free 30-day offer, which means that you buy iCharts, but for 30 days you get to try it. If you like it, you keep it. If not, we can always cancel. So it's a risk-free offer. Send us an email, info@icharts.net. So one of the questions is how do you share this information? How do you share these charts with the audience? Eric, can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah. So when you're sharing the charts, you're basically publishing them to portlets. NetSuite has a number of permissions around portlets and saved searches. Literally, it's as simple as if you share the saved search with somebody, and then you share the portlet, which is ultimately going to contain the chart. That's pretty much it. You share those two things, and you're good to go.
And do you provide any training? Can you tell us a little bit about the onboarding and training and how easy it is?
Yeah. So I mean, it's one of those things where the onboarding process is super easy. You pretty much install the bundle. We show you how to sort of make a demo chart, kind of like we did here, and then you're pretty much off to the races. Sort of post that sort of process, we also provide a number of support. We have a lot of support reps here and a lot of people who are very knowledgeable about the NetSuite ecosystem who can really help you make your data dreams and sort of chart vision really become a reality.
Okay. And so this onboarding, how long is the onboarding process then?
So usually that depends on what stage they're in, but assuming that you've installed the bundle before the call, which is very easy, it's usually no more than half an hour.
Okay. So you're saying that in half an hour after I've installed the bundle, I will be able to get started with my first dashboard then?
Yep. You'll be able to make your first chart, which will lead to your first dashboard.
Okay. That's good. And do you have some example charts to get started as well?
Yeah. So we have any chart that you saw in the demo today is sort of a best practice chart that we already have The person who installs the bundle will automatically get all of those charts to sort of share and disseminate that information across your organization.
So you're saying that I can reuse those charts with my data.
Yeah. Yep.
And I can expand on them. I don't have to build my own. I can get started with some best practice charts.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's exactly right.
It sounds like it's a pretty easy. So one question is, does iChart need a user account in NetSuite? Yes, you do need to have a user account in NetSuite because it's all single sign-on enabled. Not all NetSuite users will be iCharts users. So let's say you have 50 NetSuite licenses and you decide to have reports and analysis for, like, let's say 10 users, you just need to buy 10 iCharts licenses. You don't have to buy all NetSuite licenses for iCharts, just the ones that you want to get started with.
You also don't need any additional NetSuite licenses either. So it's just one. And if you're a NetSuite user, you can become an iCharts user just by, getting the bundle.
Yes. So the short answer is yes. As long as you have a NetSuite user license, you can get started with iCharts. Then, what is the one question is around pricing and setup and implementation and so on. So let me answer that. The implementation and setup, as Eric was saying, is pretty simple. You share your NetSuite ID. We'll share the bundle with you. Then you install the bundle. And then we'll set up a half an hour onboarding call. In that onboarding call, Eric will walk you through the iCharts product and train you on creating your first set of charts so that you can create a dashboard and share them with your business user. And for the first 30 days, we will be available to you for any support that you might need, any questions you may have. And our goal is to make sure that within the first 30 days that your first use case, whether it's in sales or finance, and you are up and running within those first 30 days. So it's all available to you. So the pricing is very simple. It's per user pricing. It is $59.95 per user per month. There is absolutely no setup fee. There is no implementation fee. There is no training fee, and training is available. And for the first 30 days, it's available full time. Then you can call us anytime. You can give us an email, and we'll respond to you. And as I mentioned, we do have a risk-free offer, so you can use this for the first 30 days. And then get started. And as you expand, as you start getting value, you can start expanding this to your other use cases as well. So $59.95 per user per month, and I believe there is a minimum number of licenses which you can. When you talk to our salesperson, he will be able to guide you and walk you through that. Once again, send us an email, info@icharts.net. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for attending the iCharts webinar.